Have you ever really looked at an ingredient list and just wondered what those complex scientific names are actually doing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the things that make your yogurt creamy, maybe, or help your medication work?
Yeah. Or even just how lotion feels on your skin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are these, like, invisible architects behind the scenes?
Well, that's a great way to put it.
So today we're doing a deep dive into something called polysaccharides and oligosaccharides.
Okay.
Now, that might sound, pretty technical, but if you're familiar with terms like fiber or gums, maybe starches in food,
Right. People know those.
these compounds are sort of part of that bigger picture. They might sound complex, but honestly, they are absolutely vital. Quiet powerhouses, really, in so many products you use daily.
That's spot on. And at a high level, polysaccharides, think of them as really long chains, chains of sugar molecules,
Oh.
like cellulose in plants, right?
Hmm.
Or the starch in your potatoes. Even something like xanthan gum, you see that in salad dressings all the time, used for thickening.
Ah, okay. I've seen that one.
And oligosaccharides are just, well, shorter versions of those chains,
Yeah.
often with really specific jobs, functional benefits.
Functional benefits? Like what?
Well, they're incredibly versatile. They can be thickeners, stabilizers, maybe replace fat in some foods.
Mm.
Or, and this is the big one we'll get into, they can be powerful prebiotics.
Prebiotics, right. Okay, so our mission for this deep dive, we've got this fascinating market research report. It really pulls back the curtain on the global market for these things.
Mhm.
We're going to unpack the key numbers, look at the big trends, and, figure out what it all means for industries everywhere. Looking at the period from 2021, projecting all the way out to 2033.
And the numbers are interesting.
Yeah, this is where it gets really compelling, I think, because the data just points to massive, massive growth.
It really does. If you look at the global picture,
Mm-hmm.
back in 2021, this market was already valued at, let's see, $13,041.5 million.
$13 billion. Wow.
Yeah. It's significant, like you said, roughly the GDP of a small country just for these compounds.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward just a bit to 2025. The projection is $15,822.5 million.
Oh, so it's still climbing?
And then looking out to 2033, we're talking about a really substantial $23,289.9 million.
Almost double the 2021 number.
Exactly. And that translates to a compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of 4.951% over that whole period, 2021 to 2033.
Okay, 4.95%. That's pretty healthy, consistent growth year over year.
It is. And it's directly linked, really, to rising demand
Yeah.
across key sectors, food and beverage, definitely. Pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, too.
So when we talk about this huge growth, what are the specific, functional benefits that are really driving this demand? What makes them so indispensable?
That's really the core question, isn't it? It comes down to what they do. And what they do aligns perfectly with what consumers and industries want right now.
Such as?
Well, number one, probably prebiotic properties. That's a huge driver.
Okay, prebiotics. We hear that term a lot. What does it mean in this context?
Right. So prebiotics are things that we don't digest ourselves with our own enzymes. Instead, they selectively feed the good bacteria, the beneficial microbes already living in our gut.
Ah, feeding the good guys.
Exactly. And that translates directly into digestive health benefits, which, as you know, is just a massive consumer trend globally. People are really focused on gut health.
For sure. Okay, so prebiotics is one. What else?
Then you have their role as gelling agents.
Mm.
Think about what gives jelly its structure, right? Or some dairy products, yogurts.
Right, that texture.
That texture, exactly. And related to that, they're excellent texture enhancers in general. They improve mouthfeel, stability, in everything from sauces and dressings to, say, dietary supplements.
So they make things feel better, taste better, last longer on the shelf?
In many cases, yes. They're kind of the quiet heroes making products perform the way we expect, or even better.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? These sort of hidden ingredients are shaping what's in our pantries, our medicine cabinet.
Absolutely.
So just thinking broadly, what's maybe one surprising place you're seeing these compounds make a big impact right now? Somewhere people might not expect.
That's a good one. Well, beyond the obvious food and pharma, I think their growing role in cosmetics is genuinely interesting.
Cosmetics. How so?
Well, they can act as natural thickeners in creams, for example, or as emollients, making things feel smooth. Even as humectants, things that draw moisture to the skin.
Huh. So helping skincare products actually work better and feel nicer.
Exactly. It's like Using these subtle ingredients derived often from natural sources to really transform how a cream or a serum feels and performs. It's quite clever, really.
That global picture, that growth is, well, it's undeniable, but like we always say, the real story is often in the regional differences, right?
Absolutely. Markets never grow uniformly.
So, where are we seeing the most, let's say, dynamic action? Where's the real buzz happening on the ground?
Okay, yeah, looking regionally, some fascinating contrasts pop out. The Asia-Pacific region, for instance, that's where the most rapid growth is
Yeah.
happening. Yeah, it boasts the highest regional CKGR, 5.532%,
Wow, higher than the global average.
significantly higher. And it seems overwhelmingly driven by, well, remember the prebiotics.
Mm-hmm.
Huge demand there for prebiotic fortified foods, beverages. There's often a strong cultural focus on gut wellness in many parts of Asia.
Interesting. Any specific countries leading that charge?
That's silly. India is actually the fastest growing single market globally, an impressive 6.538% CQGR.
6.5%. That's huge.
It is. China is also showing remarkable strength, 5.724% CAGR. And you see strong momentum elsewhere too, like Singapore, Southeast Asia as a whole, Taiwan.
Yeah.
It really points to that significant prebiotic demand.
Okay, so Asia Pac is booming, driven by health and wellness trends. What about, say, North America?
North America shows solid growth too, a bit more moderate maybe, at 4.32% CAGR overall.
Okay.
The U.S. is the leader there, naturally, with a 4.201% rate. Canada is also progressing steadily, actually a bit faster at 5.02%.
And what's the story there? Is it also prebiotics or something else?
Well, the source material we looked at really highlights the connection to clean label trends in North America.
Ah, clean label. Makes sense.
Yeah, consumers reading labels, wanting fewer artificial ingredients, things they recognize.
Yeah, wanting natural stuff.
Exactly. And polysaccharides and oligosaccharides often provide natural plant-derived ways to get the right texture or stability or even sweetness without using synthetic additives. So they fit perfectly with that desire for simplicity and, well, cleaner labels.
That clicks. So, moving across the pond to Europe, similar story or different drivers.
Europe's moving forward nicely too, 4.482% CAGR overall. Germany stands out there, strong growth at 5.191%. France is a bit slower, 3.894%.
Okay. And the driver in Europe?
Here it seems very much focused on functional foods.
Functional foods. Explain that a bit.
Sure. Products designed to give you health benefits beyond just basic nutrition. Think probiotic yogurts, maybe cereals fortified with specific fibers, things like that.
Got it. Food's doing more than just feeding you.
Precisely. And these compounds, polysaccharides and oligosaccharides, are often key ingredients in making those functional foods work, both in terms of, delivering the benefit and making the product palatable and stable.
Okay. And the other regions? Quickly, how do they stack up?
Right. South America was pretty strong, upward path, 5.249% CAGR. Brazil's the big player there.
Okay.
The Middle East, also a healthy development,
Yeah.
5.215% CAGR, with countries like the UAE leading.
Hmm.
And Africa is growing too, 4.422% CAGR, with South Africa standing out within the continent.
So, connecting all those dots, it really paints a picture of incredible versatility, doesn't it?
It really does.
I mean, whether it's powering that huge prebiotic demand in Asia, or fitting neatly into clean label in North America, or driving functional foods in Europe, it seems like the global appetite for these compounds is just expanding everywhere. Health, wellness, food, tech.
Absolutely. It touches so many areas. It sounds like a win-win, really.
Mm.
Good for consumers getting benefits, good for industry finding natural solutions.
Yeah, it does seem that way, but are there any, trade-offs or challenges? Is it always easy to just swap these in? Maybe cost or processing issues?
That's a really fair question. It's not always simple. While the benefits are clear, there can be nuances, definitely.
Okay.
Well, for some really specialized types, the cost can be higher than maybe more traditional ingredients they might replace.
Mm-hmm.
That can impact the final product price, obviously.
Okay, cost is one factor.
And also integration. Putting them into existing manufacturing lines isn't always plug and play. Their properties, how they affect viscosity or mixing, might mean companies need to adjust equipment or tweak their formulations quite a bit.
Right, so it takes some R&D, some investment.
It can, yes.
Yeah.
It's not always a straightforward swap.
Mm-hmm.
But, for companies really looking to innovate to meet those consumer demands for health or clean labels, the functional benefits often make that investment worthwhile.
That makes sense. So this widespread growth, this versatility, it really raises a big question, doesn't it?
Oh.
What does this mean for how products are actually going to change over the next, say, 10 years? As these compounds become even more central, what new kinds of products might we see? Or how might the things we already buy fundamentally shift?
That's the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? How does this translate into real innovation on the shelves?
Yeah. So maybe something for you, the listener, to think about next time you're walking through the grocery store or the pharmacy.
Mhm.
Consider this. What innovations might be quietly lurking in that ingredient list, driven by this steady, powerful growth of these sweet sciences? How will our food, our medicine, even our cosmetics change as these vital compounds become even more integral, more embedded in product development all around the world?
Yeah.
Something to mull over next time you reach for your favorite snack, perhaps, and maybe appreciate the hidden power working behind the scenes.
Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Imagine a future where, I don't know, your daily yogurt could also help mend a wound, or maybe a skincare cream could literally prompt your skin to regenerate itself. It doesn't really sound like science fiction anymore, thanks to this quiet revolution happening with two seemingly simple yet, well, incredibly powerful compounds, polysaccharides and oligosaccharides. Today, we're unlocking their secrets. We've got a stack of insights and sources, and we're going to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge for you. Really help you quickly get up to speed on why these sort of hidden natural ingredients seem poised to reshape so much of our world.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating here is how these biomolecules, which, were once seen as maybe niche scientific curiosities, are now actually central to major market shifts. We'll explore their hidden power, as you said, and the market dynamics at play. Really reveal how they're moving from the lab into our daily lives in ways you might not even expect.
Okay, let's unpack this then. We're talking about sugars, basically,
Mhm.
right? But obviously not the kind that just sweeten your coffee. What's truly fueling this surging interest in polysaccharides and oligosaccharides right now? Where are we actually seeing them pop up beyond the obvious?
Well, the first major driver isn't just about demand itself, it's more about how these molecules are enabling entirely new product categories and redefining existing ones too. Take prebiotics, for instance, that's a type of oligosaccharide. The emerging research isn't just confirming their well-known benefits for digestive health, which is great, but it's revealing these really surprising links to mood, cognitive function, even our immune response. So this shifts them, from being just a nice to have digestive aid to something more foundational for holistic wellness. That's the real shift, I think. Gut health is increasingly understood as brain health, immune health. And these compounds are proving crucial. So this growing consumer awareness about the gut microbiome, that huge community of microorganisms living in our digestive tract, and its surprising role in overall wellness means companies are now embedding these compounds in, well, everything. From dairy and infant nutrition to dietary supplements, they're acting as health enhancers.
That's incredible. Thinking about their impact stretching from gut health all the way to mental well-being, that's a huge leap. But I have a hunch these compounds are impacting more than just our diets. Am I right? Where else are they emerging in maybe unexpected ways?
You've absolutely hit on it, yeah. A notable increase in their use is definitely happening across the pharmaceutical and cosmetic industries too. These biomolecules, they offer outstanding biocompatibility, which just means your body accepts them readily, no adverse reactions. Plus, they have this gelling ability, right? So they can form protective layers or create these precise delivery systems. And then there's their inherent bioactivity, meaning they actively interact with biological processes.
Okay.
So together, these properties make them pretty much perfect for advanced medical applications. Think wound healing, sophisticated drug delivery systems that target specific areas, and even high performance anti aging creams.
Right.
They deliver both performance and versatility. They can serve dual roles, sometimes as therapeutic agents and as stabilizers in the product itself. They're really becoming a focal point in biotech and R&D labs globally now.
It's just incredible to see them pop up everywhere, from food to medicine, like you said. The surge in demand, combined with that versatility, must be creating some significant ripples across the entire industry. What broader implications are we seeing, especially for innovation and investment? I mean, are regulators even ready for this kind of innovation pace?
That's a really great point. And while agencies like the FDA and EFSA have labeled many of these compounds as GRS, generally recognized as safe, which certainly simplifies their integration,
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's not a completely open road. There are still complexities, especially when you get into novel applications or health claims. But generally, yes, that GRS status has definitely helped open the floodgates for innovation. And on top of that, you've got public-private collaborations, government-backed research. They're all actively working to unlock cost-effective, sustainable production methods. We're seeing some really exciting advancements, particularly using fermentation, where microbes basically become little factories for these compounds,
Uh,
and also green extraction techniques, which use eco-friendly solvents and, crucially, less energy. This hasn't just strengthened supply chains, it's also encouraged newer, maybe smaller players to enter the market with some really novel solutions.
so on one hand, it sounds like this world brimming with potential, lots of innovative pathways opening up. But the journey of any transformative technology, well, it isn't usually without its bumps, right? What are some of the significant roadblocks facing polysaccharides and oligosaccharides today?
Yeah, that's true. One of the most significant restraints is definitely the high production and processing cost. It's not cheap. Extracting these molecules from sources like algae, plants, or microbes, it demands real precision, sophisticated technology, and frankly, considerable energy. All of that drives up costs quite significantly. Plus, retaining their specific bioactivity, making sure they still work after processing, while also ensuring product consistency batch after batch, that adds another layer to the price tag. It often makes the final products more expensive compared to, say, traditional synthetic alternatives. That can be a real hurdle for widespread adoption.
And what about actually getting these cutting-edge products into the hands of everyday consumers, particularly thinking about new or maybe developing markets? What challenges pop up there?
That's another roadblock, absolutely. Limited consumer awareness, particularly in emerging markets. While functional ingredients are, a clear trend in developed nations in many parts of the world, there's still a surprising lack of education about the specific health benefits of these particular compounds. Sometimes weak labeling practices or just minimal marketing outreach can really restrict market penetration, even though there might be huge population bases and potentially massive demand that could really benefit from these innovations.
That makes a lot of sense. So, okay, if you're maybe a startup or a smaller brand and you've got a brilliant new idea involving these compounds,
Yeah.
what kind of hoops do you have to jump through to get that idea to market?
Right. Well, we also can't ignore the stringent regulatory and quality barriers. They are significant. While some progress is being made, as we said with GRAS, the approval timelines can still remain quite long, especially for products making specific health claims or if they're entering the pharmaceutical space.
Right, the claims part is key.
Exactly. Startups in particular, they face pretty significant hurdles related to clinical validation, proving it works complex labeling requirements, and just rigorous safety assessments. This, unfortunately, does tend to slow down innovation, and it can discourage market entry for smaller brands that maybe don't have the extensive resources of the larger corporations.
Okay, so hurdles exist. Costs, awareness, regulations. But despite these, it really feels like the market for these remarkable compounds is undeniably shifting in some incredibly exciting directions.
Mhm.
What are the big trends we should be watching? The ones shaping the future of polysaccharides and oligosaccharides?
Well, one clear trend is a distinct and growing emphasis on sustainable plant-based sourcing. That's huge right now. Companies are increasingly looking at extracting polysaccharides and oligosaccharides from agricultural byproducts, things like fruit peels or corn husks that might otherwise be wasted.
Oh, interesting. Upcycling.
Exactly. And also from algae, often using those low impact, eco friendly techniques we touched on earlier. Not only does this align perfectly with broader environmental goals, which is important, but it also strongly appeals to consumers. Consumers who are demanding clean label, naturally derived ingredients with a clear origin story. They want to know where it came from.
That's fascinating, tying sustainability right into it. But let's zoom out a bit. How are these compounds playing into that increasingly popular idea of personalized health, especially given their connection to the microbiome we talked about earlier?
Ah, yeah, a major revolution is definitely happening there in the realm of microbiome-centric nutrition. It's really taking off. As research continues to uncover the critical, really intricate link between our gut health and things like immunity, metabolism, even our mental well-being. These compounds are being infused into highly personalized nutritional products. Imagine custom prebiotic supplements tailored specifically to your individual microbiome profile based on analyzing your own unique gut bacteria.
Wow, that's really bespoke.
It is, and this personalization trend is catching on incredibly fast, particularly among younger, health-conscious consumers who are actively looking for truly tailored solutions, not just generic advice.
Okay, so connecting this maybe to the broader landscape of medicine, thinking beyond personalized nutrition, where else will we see these molecules making a potentially profound impact?
The future looks even more promising there, I think, thanks to the broadening use of these molecules and really cutting edge biomedicine and therapeutic innovations. We're talking controlled drug release systems delivering medicine exactly where and when it's needed in the body, advanced tissue engineering and regenerative medicine, where we're literally helping the body repair and rebuild itself. Polysaccharides and oligosaccharides are proving invaluable here.
Why them specifically?
Well, mainly due to their inherent properties. They're biodegradable, so they break down naturally in the body, and they're generally non-toxic. Scientists are actively experimenting with novel formulations, new ways to use them that could genuinely one day revolutionize how we treat injuries, manage chronic diseases, maybe even regrow damaged tissue. The potential is just enormous.
It really is astounding to think these tiny molecules, often hidden away in our food or deep in a lab somewhere, could literally help us regrow tissue or deliver medicine with such pinpoint precision. It almost makes you wonder what else we've overlooked in nature, doesn't it? So for you, our listener, what's the big takeaway from all this exploration today? In summary, the polysaccharides and oligosaccharides market isn't just dynamic, it's becoming deeply integrated into the future of health, food, and biotech. It really feels like a sector that promises a truly holistic kind of transformation.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at the broader significance, it really suggests that nature's complex molecules, the ones we perhaps once overlooked or underestimated, are now becoming foundational. Foundational for solutions to some of our most pressing challenges, truly integrating health and sustainability in new ways. So maybe a final thought for you, the listener. What stands out to you as the most surprising or maybe the most impactful application of these really versatile compounds that we discussed today? Something to think about.